from my mother, her sisters, my grandmother. Given their generational experiences, they taught me to always establish my substance. Whether it was through verbal or nonverbal communication, they always taught me and they always encouraged me to be the best, to work with rigor, to seek knowledge and awareness, to achieve success and basically decorate myself in accomplishments. Not to define myself by accomplishments, but to simply establish a name for myself, which I've done thus far. I may not be where I want to be, but I'm far from where I began, and even further than I thought I would have gone. Oftentimes, there is this ideology that as a Black woman, you have to be more than what you are to be seen for who you are. You are suggested and even groomed at a very young age in a way that requires you to acquire knowledge or to develop a talent, to have a niche, in order to be deemed as valuable given patriarchal standards. Navigating the structural obstacles and the many isms of the world, often as a young Black girl growing into a Black woman, the nurturement we receive from society, and even at times from our own community, may suggest that we be more within everything, to be anything at all. We have to be exceptional to be an acceptable exception. Twice as smart, twice as hardworking, twice as beautiful in the sense of enhancing our own femininity, to any addition to all that we possess intrinsically. We have to multiply that in order to be deemed as enough. And I think even though I was encouraged to be the best by the women in my life, I still was encouraged to be the best in the sense of being better than the best. Because I had to be better than the best. If not within my own community, within society, I had to be better than the best. And I've experienced that in life. This theory has been tested, and it is true. Being better than the best was necessary for me. And I think because I had to establish that within my personal life, because I had to establish that within my professional life, it follows me unconsciously into my romantic life. And I think now that I have allowed myself to be more open to dating, now that I'm more accessible to those who are attracted to me, and now that I'm actually being pursued by the young men in my generation, I just find that I'm advancing professionally, I'm growing personally, but I'm stunted romantically. And I think it's due to this twice as anything or anyone mentality. I don't know, I'm getting to a point where as a young woman, I'm realizing that a lot of what has been preached and practiced isn't always ascribed to. I was always taught to be the best, and now that I'm growing, and now that my life is unfolding, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, professionally, personally, what about romantically? There's no cohesion there. And not only was I influenced heavily by the women in my life, like my aunts, like my mother, like my grandmother, like my older cousins, but I also was influenced by the women on film. I've always had a heavily predominant, Black influence in my life. Where a lot of young girls can attest to wanting to be like a white woman. I can't really say that. I can't. I wanted to be like Shantae Smith, because in a way, it encouraged and empowered me even more to strive for a profession I would be successful within. She motivated me to remain conscientious and focused on enhancing my own qualities. Seeing the dimensions and the dynamics of Shantae Smith and how she was, for the most part, a self-made, highly intelligent, fairly young businesswoman who looked beautiful, lived beautifully, wore beautiful things, and probably even smelled beautiful. It was admirable to me as a young Black girl to see a woman like Shantae Smith. Shantae was a successful woman with a close-knit group of girlfriends and an equitable, very successful counterpart. Her life was one to be sought after. So seeing a woman like Shantae Smith, seeing a woman like my mother, seeing a woman like my grandmother, they encouraged me to pursue substance, something that I was naive to before I was actually experiencing dating and I was just observing it, was viewing myself in the way that I view my potential significant other. Because I want a man that is righteous and morally sound, I could only assume that a man would want the same from me. So, being that I was 19, 20, working in financial servicing, pursuing a career within health, holding leadership positions at my job, making good grades as a college student, because I was financially stable, business savvy, and intellect, spiritual, emotionally aware, I just thought that the opposite sex would be attracted to that. And honestly, I'm finding that this doesn't always prove to be true. A lot of what has been preached unto me, a lot of what has been practiced by myself, has just shown me that a lot of this ideology, these thoughts, are not ascribed to. Like, developing your substance, being personally and professionally established will not call for cohesion within your romantic life. And that's just something I always assumed to be true. Like, I assumed that would happen given all of the effort that I was putting into myself. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop, pursuing my own personal endeavors. That doesn't mean that I'm going to stop growing professionally, that I'm going to stop growing as a person. But it was just something that I was made aware of once I started to experience dating, once I started to think about who I was attracting and who I wasn't attracting, and what experiences I was having and I wasn't having. And it's just odd. It's odd that a lot of times women experience this, because I'm not the only woman. I talk to plenty other women in my life, and they say that this is true for them as well. Oftentimes, I'm told that I'm intimidating because of what I've done, because of what I do, and because of how I do it. And it's just strange, because you look at men like Jay-Z, P. Diddy, hell, Bill Gates even. These are very powerful, heavily influential, very successful men who have established a work ethic that has allowed for their names to be household names. Their brand is their name. Their name is a brand. Because of their substance, their value and desirability is seen as an asset. Whereas for women, it's our weakness. It's our kryptonite. Even looking at a woman portrayed in a film like Deliver Us from Eva, her being astute, her being assertive, her being aggressive when needed, called for her to be demonized. Even looking at a character like Julia from Daddy's Little Girls, who ironically was played by Gabrielle Union. She was a successful attorney. She dedicated her life to her profession for the benefit of others. And yet, she was subjected to blind dates.
Hey, so Julie, I heard you was like a lawyer and stuff.
I am.
Yeah, so you got this then?
The bill?
Yes. You know what else is nice? You got some sexy ass lips. Just wanna bite them. Suck on them. Suck your lips off your face. Yeah. Hey! Hey, come here, Plow. Yes, sir. What kind of fish is this filet mignon? I'm sorry? Y'all got Chinese food? I'm sorry. I'm gonna spit you something off the dome. Just right here, cause we alone. Julia, You know I never make a fool of y'all. You and me is like we out of space. I wanna wrap them legs around my waist and in my face. You feel me? Man, I be feeling that. It's like I just...
I'm sorry, how old are you?
So it's just interesting how establishing yourself as a woman, how developing substance, how positioning yourself within, I don't know, the socioeconomic hierarchy can affect your romantic experiences. Because I've done all that I've done between the ages of 18 and 19, and now I'm 20, a lot of men don't seem to approach me in the way that they would approach other women, or in the way that I would hope to be approached. But I don't know, I just wanted to share this thought. Hopefully it was easily understood. And if you have any commentary that you would like to leave in the comments below, please do. I literally love when you guys comment. And thank you for watching my video. If you like it, like it. If you don't, I mean, yeah, it is what it is.